Greetings, patrons. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
And welcome back to Geekvolution After Dark. For the next hour or so, Eric and I are going to chat about all kinds of different topics for you. I'm prepared. I have topics written down. Some of them somewhat heady and pseudo-existential and intellectual-ish. And I bet Eric has really meaty, controversial topics this evening.
I have at least my first one is one.
Cool. So look, he has stuff he's written down. I don't know what they are. I have stuff I've written down. He doesn't know what they are. And I'm so excited to find out what Eric wants to talk about. And we're going to do that here in just a minute. We want to say thanks to you guys so very much for helping to keep this train chugging along. And that's why we do this for you. And Eric, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to just talk about whatever?
I'm ready.
Whatever we're talking about? Isn't it weird when two people are prepared but not prepared together?
Yes.
You know? Where, like, we didn't actually... Well, it feels kind of
weird
weird
because...
because...
There's lots of things like that, right?
Well, it feels weird just in the moment.
Yeah.
What I mean is, we have expectations about how certain things will go, but we can't possibly know
We didn't plan it together.
how other things will go.
Yes.
Eric, what would you like to start talking
So
about this evening? Let's just jump right into it. Just get right in there.
I'm gonna do a little soft thing to lead into my actual topic. So I'm gonna play a real small game.
Softball? You're going to toss a softball.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play a real small game to lead into my actual topic of, is this racist?
We should do a whole hour on is this racist.
So
Okay, go
I
ahead.
rewatched King Kong vs. Godzilla.
Yeah.
And in King Kong vs. Godzilla, they go to Skull Island.
I thought you were going to say just putting those two together is that racist. I'm like, I don't see how.
No, I don't.
I don't see how.
So they go to Skull Island.
Okay.
Now, as I'm sure you're aware, in the original black and white King Kong film, that is an island populated by black people.
Yes, of
You know
course.
what they don't have in Japan?
People are going to give me crap for this. I've never actually sat down and watched the
Well, you
original
should.
King Kong. I've never done
You
it.
should. It's Harryhausen.
I know that. I just haven't done it.
In Japan, they don't have black people. So it is an island full of Asian people, painted head to toe in tribal gear, brown. Is that racist?
Okay, so at the risk of losing all the patrons...
You're gonna say no?
No, I'm not
say
going
yes?
to say no. I guess I just said the word no, but I'm not actually saying no. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for briefly, and because yes, like all things being equal, that sounds obviously racist, right? Like the face paint thing. Yes.
Head to toe paint, like tiki shirts, like they're doing all of it.
If they didn't do all the... Let me ask you this question first. If they didn't do all the... Did you have to open with this? If
This isn't even my topic. This is the quick light.
We'll see how
topic.
light, fluffy. Okay, so let me ask you this question. I'm gonna try not to make this take forever. If you got rid of all the tribal paint and stuff, most people still say that's pretty racist, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question I have is, if you couldn't cast actual black people, should you just not do the story?
Yes, I don't know.
That's the question.
Because I was like, wow, there's not a lot of black people in Japan. How do they shoot this
How would they
scene?
shoot it? Yeah. So I'm going to cop out by saying it's up to each individual person to decide whether or not you should just write a different script and not shoot that. I'm very uncomfortable.
Okay, so now for the actual topic. So you have not heard about the Buffalo Wild Wings.
It was so light and...
You have not heard about Buffalo Wild Wings, yes?
No, I've not heard about that yet.
Okay.
You told me you were going to talk about it after dark.
So Buffalo Wild
What
Wings.
does that have to do...
I'm getting to it.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
So
Okay.
our Buffalo
All right.
Wild Wings here, the one right up the street, is being sued for race discrimination and age discrimination. There was an ex-employee who was an old black man who was suing them. Now, I will say...
Did someone working there paint themselves to look like a black
No,
person?
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's where I thought this was going for a moment.
No, but we're going to stick with the is this racist question. But in a little bit more real-world context, that I'm almost uncomfortable to talk about, but we'll get there. Okay, so I will say also...
Wait, that whole thing was to make us more comfortable?
Yeah, it was to dip your toes in the water to get to the real topic.
I don't even want to... We're 4 minutes in. I don't even want to be here. Go ahead.
Okay. So I read the whole article, right? Like I didn't read a headline. Like I was interested. So I
You
read
did
the
your
article.
homework. You're ready to
Yeah,
talk
yeah. I
about
read the article. I will say, everything that the guy says that he thinks is age discrimination, I think is bullshit.
Okay.
He says the thing that every disgruntled employee says, like, well, they made me do shit that nobody else had to do. And I think it's just because they don't like me. I was like, no, I think you're fucking old and you didn't want to do your work. That's what I think. But I also am not sure if they were racist to him. He says they were. I'm not going to weigh in on that. Because, like, he says that they said hateful things, but the hateful things were things like them referring to him as, like, they're, like, stereotypical angry black man. Which is disparaging, but I'm not sure if it's racist. Like, I don't know. Like, if that's... I wouldn't sue over that, I guess is what I'm saying.
Sure.
But that's not the main thing that's the case.
Okay.
The main thing of the case is that apparently our Buffalo Wild Wings, right up the street, gives shitty service to black customers and sometimes turns them away.
Really?
And the explanation is...
Based on race?
Based on race. And the explanation is blacks don't tip. Now, I have consulted with a number of people that I personally know.
So far, this is actually easier to answer than the first question.
Okay.
But...
Well, here's where I'm thinking in my brain.
And yes, that did seem racist, but there was like a butt thing where, like, go ahead.
Okay, so I've talked to a lot of people that I know.
Make a graphic. Is this racist?
I've talked to a lot of people I know that work in the service industry,
Mm-hmm.
and they have all corroborated that. Black people do not tip. Now, one person...
That might be a stereotype.
It is. One person I know who's maybe the most, at least close, like, liberal person I know. Like, real far on the other end of the spectrum. I asked them.
You led with this?
I led with this. And I asked them and I said, okay, so this is what I heard. In your experience,
Yeah.
do you find this to be true? And their response was, in my personal experience, black customers have a tendency to be the most needy customers and to leave very little tip or no tip, but I have also had black customers that have left me some of the best tips I've ever gotten.
Sure. Because
Okay.
human beings are complex.
Okay.
And because individuals can make their own choices for themselves.
If there is a
And
policy...
your skin color doesn't define you as a person.
If there is a policy in place
Yeah.
for at the establishment that says we don't serve blacks, you don't have to work. You don't have to work that hard if black customers come in. That is absolutely
That's
racist.
racist.
Profiling customers, on the other hand, if I walk into a nice restaurant dressed the way I am, they're going to assume one of two things: I'm dine and dashing, or I have exactly enough money to pay for my meal, and they will not be
And
getting a
that's
tip.
it. Sure. Yeah. But
Is
that's
it
not-
racist to extend that to this is a family of a certain kind of people that, in my experience, do not tip?
But are you conflating to a degree not like things? Because if you walk in dressed like that, you're being profiled, but you're not being racially profiled.
No, but is it also possible, because this isn't covered in the article?
That's being like if there's an assumption made about your dress, it doesn't even necessarily matter like anything else about you. It's like I think most people would have a difficult time not immediately jumping to that, even if they decide let's give them the benefit of the doubt. The first thing you're going to think is probably this is an upscale stat. There's a dress code. He's not dressed that way, or or whatever it is. So I think you're kind of conflating not like
Okay,
things.
but I'm also willing to bet that they would not do this to, like, a black guy that came in a suit. Like someone that looked professional. But, like, if you come and look like white trash, I imagine just normal white trash people also don't get treated well. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or there's assumptions made about
they're
it.
definitely doing something wrong. And they're definitely doing something racist.
You can see the eye roll from the waitress when they walk in because she's thinking,
Yeah.
I'm not getting a tip.
Is that racist? That's my question. Is, if based on constant evidence, these kinds of people do not tip and are obnoxious, or things like that, and so I'm going to give them shitty service. Is that racist? Because I'm willing to bet it doesn't extend only to black people. I'm willing to bet it's white trash people. It's anyone that looks like a gangsta, white, black, Hispanic,
to
like
someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable making that judgment call.
Okay.
The question I would much rather ask is their feeling that way regardless of whether they act on it fair? I'm much more interested in that than the very subjective idea of racism, which is very difficult to define a lot of the time. And a lot of people would argue with you and say, well, like, you're already on the wrong track because you used the word profiling and didn't immediately put that in the same league as you didn't call the profiling itself racist. And a lot of people would just say that if you're going to profile at all, that is by definition racist.
Well, it's not because I get profiled. Like we all get profiled. Like
sure.
Or judged,
so
or
too,
whatever word you want to use.
But that's why I say I think that word is almost meaningless at this point, where like everybody has a different idea of what being it's about what's actually what your motivations are and what's actually in your heart, right? I don't think this is just me. I don't think it's fair or right to like look down on a person or dog on a person for making observations. There's a pattern that I have been noticing. Maybe I don't even articulate it. Maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it's subconscious.
Precisely, yeah. I don't think.
Because I certainly did that in my previous job. Like there would be certain kinds of people where it does not matter.
You probably feel bad about it later, but like.
And there were times I was wrong, where I started shitty, and then I realized they were like a normal person.
I don't begrudge you wondering out about a person based on your prior experiences where there have been patterns. If you treat them differently, that's not right.
If it's because of race or anything. Like, if you wear your hat to the side and have a gold chain, I don't care if you're white, black, you're going to be shitty. Like, in my personal experience in retail.
But what's your job?
What?
But what is your job?
Well, customer service.
Well, there you go.
Sure.
Treat everybody the same.
Sure.
The best you possibly can.
But
it's difficult.
But in my previous job, I didn't live on tips.
Okay, but
aren't you going to spend more time on a table that might tip you as opposed to the table that you don't think is going to tip you?
Yeah,
or is that wrong? Because they could tip you and you could be wrong.
You can be so strategic about it, they'd never know.
You're probably right.
That's my answer to that. You know what I mean? We're like, so give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't judge people the best you possibly can, but also be smart about it. Like, there are tells, and it's not, and it's not in necessarily about race or ethnicity or anything. Where it's just if somebody's being disrespectful to you, the wait staff, for whatever reason, yeah, you're probably not going to get a good tip. You know what I mean? If they're being kind to you while you're waiting on them, regardless of what they look like, you should start wondering if you were wrong. I'll say that.
But then what do you think if they don't tip, even if they're nice?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I've never worked in wait staff. Like, I didn't know
and I have, yeah.
I didn't know this was a stereotype until this article, and I started asking people, and like, I started hearing confirmations from people like, yeah, that's kind of...
I've not waited tables in 15 years, so I feel out of touch on this, because when I did, and it was not for an upscale establishment, I worked in an IHOP. I do not remember ever thinking differently about how I might get tipped based on skin color, ever. I don't remember that. Like, there might be people who would come in with a certain kind, and I'm not trying to act like above other, everybody and being like, no, look at me, I'm not racist. Some of my friends are black, but that's not what I'm saying. But when I look back on that, I remember with certain people's like attitudes and stuff, regardless of what they looked like, thinking, oh, this is going to be a tough table, or I might not get a tip. I'm going to do the best I can, but it might be a waste of my time. But it's still your job to do the job, But I don't remember, and I might be wrong, but I don't remember like certain ethnicities tipping more than other ethnicities. I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I also think is interesting about this is that I don't know if that's a thing you could ever know unless you were on the inside.
Right, sure.
Because if you and I go and they serve us fine, we have no reason to think they're not serving other customers fine. And if a black family or black couple or whatever goes in and is treated poorly, they might just think the service sucks here.
Right, and then they're not going to tip well, and it has nothing to do with their ethnicity. You and I wouldn't tip well either. The wait staff's not great.
Yeah. And
then it becomes a chicken and the egg issue, where it's like, was it ever that stereotype, or was it that you are making an assumption based on things you've heard, you're not treating them well, they're not tipping you well?
Mm-hmm.
This is all hearsay. I'd have to see. I would have to, honestly, my answer is I would need to conduct a study.
You'll have to go back into waiting.
I'm not doing that.
But yeah, so
especially
Buffalo Wild
at
Wings,
IHOP. That's messed up.
Buffalo Wild Wings up the street is being sued for racism.
Man.
And this is going to sound bad, but I'm going to say it. If you're conducting yourself like that, don't vocalize it. Don't tell the black guy on your staff we turn away black customers because blacks don't tip. And that had quotations on it. Like, that was a quote. Like, blacks don't tip, quotations. Apparently that was just standing policy.
I get that the way the rules are set up in this country, it is it is completely contingent on getting good tips for waitstaff to make money, because you don't make anything hourly hardly.
Which is ridiculous, and I still don't understand how that's legal.
I don't either. I've never understood it. It's one of the many things in our legal system I don't understand.
Why are they allowed to be paid less than minimum wage? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get that. I get trying to protect your wait staff, but that's just discrimination.
Yeah. No, it's just loud discrimination. And we have laws against that, and they're going to lose that lawsuit, and if it doesn't close, everyone that's working there now is gone.
Yeah,
there's going to be a huge turnover over at that Buffalo Wild Wings if it stays open.
By and large, I mean, as a general rule, I would love to live by we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone on an individual basis, based on your being an asshole, or you yourself, sir, have a reputation in this town, and not because of what you look like, or...
I had a similar thing a couple of years ago with the cake shop that refused the gay couple, where I was like...
I'm not even touching that.
Where I was like, I don't know if you can do this legally. I don't know if religion covers you on this one.
Yeah.
I know some people disagree with that, but that's kind of where my knee-jerk... I was like, that seems like discrimination. I'm not sure, but I don't think you can do that. I don't know how that ended. I didn't follow up on that case. I don't know what happened with that. But anyways, what is your top? Do you have something lighter and more fun and bouncy?
It seems like that's very relative.
I think about cancer a lot.
Okay, later I'm going to tell a story.
Okay.
But not right now. So,
okay.
Eric, I want to know how you feel about... Let's just launch right into this. We'll do another kind of legal discussion.
Okay.
Another kind of legal discussion.
Okay.
I want to talk about alcohol.
Okay.
And I want to talk about the way alcohol is thought of, is considered in this country, and the way we regulate it. I want to know how you feel about two things. And these are related things. First of all, the way that the perception of alcohol in this country versus a lot of other countries. Mm-hmm. Not to be leading about it, but it is simply a fact that our country looks at alcohol differently than a lot of other countries, particularly Europe, right? Mm. Not that Europe is a country, but countries in Europe. Mm. And secondly, how you feel about the laws that we have in place pertaining to alcohol. And I ask that question because I think a lot of how we perceive alcohol in this country is directly connected to and influenced by the way we regulate it.
Well, so
particularly, I guess I'll just jump right to what I will want to talk about after you answer that question. The percentage that you're allowed to have in your system when you drive, I think it's fucking crazy, and I think that it has a lot to do with the messed up perception we have in this country of alcohol. I don't want to talk about that.
So, alcohol ties in to some other things that we have like this too.
Sure.
Sex, nudity, and marijuana.
Marijuana, yeah.
Is the other bit, which makes 1,000 times more sense to be legal before alcohol. People don't get into car wrecks because they're high. Like it doesn't make sense. But all of this dates back to like prohibition and things like that.
Right.
So like our perception of alcohol shifts when we hit prohibition, and the marijuana thing happens around then too. And there's a whole fucking like legal thing with that. With the hemp is cheaper to make paper out of, so the paper companies made marijuana illegal. Do you know that's why marijuana is illegal? That's why it's illegal. Is
Wow.
because corporations. I recently had a conversation about how everyone that's smoking in like anything like pre like 1930, they're not smoking cigarettes. Like they're not. They're smoking marijuana.
And like we all got used to that.
We're not smoking tobacco pipes.
Being illegal and say no to drugs, kids.
And it built
like,
stigma.
And like say no to drugs, kids, but at the same time, like it led us to a culture where we're not supposed to question it.
Mm-hmm. But the reason I brought those things up is because I believe alcohol is the same way. I think we are all raised from a very young age with this fucked up and contradictory view of alcohol. We are raised not to drink. It's not for you. Here's all of the awful things that can happen if you drink. You can drink and drive, and accidents, and like you're like 6 years old and like fucking like kindergarten. You're watching videos on like horrific car crashes because of drinking and driving. But it's also the thing that adults do to unwind and have fun. And I think I think there's this like just bizarre stigma that we built around it that's both positive and negative. And we know for a fact that like one of the reasons,
and then you make your parents look like walking contradictions because like, well, if it's that horrible, why are they doing it? Why is it okay for them to do it?
How
and
come
aren't they
when all-
irresponsible for doing it?
and how come when all your friends come over, you guys all drink, and then they drive home to their houses?
Yeah.
I've been told my entire life you should never ever do that in any situation.
And so what you're teaching your kids is that once they get to some magical age, it's okay to do bad things.
And the 21-year-old rule acts like that too, where it's like you will hit an age where you magically are responsible.
Yeah.
And we know for a fact that a lot of specifically alcohol poisoning, but other abuses of alcohol comes from its limitations on younger people. So 16 to like 20-year-olds are more likely to get alcohol poisoning or get too drunk and do very dangerous things because they don't have access to alcohol. So when they do get access to alcohol, they drink way too much of it.
Yeah.
Like, my mom's not home and the liquor cabinet's open, so I'm going to drink all of it.
And this is what I want to talk about.
And this is a college kid thing as well. And obviously Europe has a very different view, and they don't have the problems
and they don't
we
have as many of those problems. Yeah. So you were talking about how like they'll drink more because they can't get a hold of it, but they're also more obsessed with getting their hands on it because it's not readily available.
And I think only obsessed because it's not
I'm
readily
not saying
available.
there shouldn't necessarily be an age limit on it. I'm not saying like get rid of all the rules and let's just let 8-year-olds drink alcohol. I'm not really saying
I
that.
like the law that Kansas has where you can have your kid can drink in your home.
Yeah, that's good.
I really like that law.
like
I think that's a very smart law.
Well, and what I like about it as a parent is it gives me the power over my kids, which it should be my natural God-given right.
Well, and
they're my kids.
And my mom, and I know other parents do this too. Like, it's not just my mother, but other parents do this too. Where like, I didn't have that drive for alcohol, or pot for that matter, as a teenager. That a lot of other teenagers did, because my mom always said, both with alcohol and pot, if you want to do it, that's fine. Do it here where you're safe.
Yeah.
It was never stigmatized for me. It was never. She was just like, look, I don't want you out somewhere where you don't know where you are, like hanging out with people you don't know.
And
like, just if you want to get drunk. Just do it here where I can keep an eye on you.
When you're a kid, it's like this with everything. You want to see rated R movies because you're not allowed to. Anything that is forbidden. The answer to that is not open the floodgates.
No.
To everything.
No.
That's like. I don't think my 9-year-old kid should watch Child's Play.
Sure.
I'm not going to show him that. Either the original or the remake. I'm not going to do that. When he's 13 or 14, maybe. Right?
But I also know people that watch that stuff at that age and turn out fine.
Sure.
Apparently, everyone in my like second grade class, because they all saw horror movies, and I wasn't allowed, and I was the uncool kid.
But that's, I mean, I guess that's part of my point is, but like maybe the parents should have more of the control over this. You know, at least responsible, and like that's difficult to regulate and all that. You know, of course. But like,
and dangerous.
Different kids are ready for things at different times. And to some degree, we seem to sort of understand that with more, how should I say it, like intangible things. But there's a magic number with driving, and there's a magic number with alcohol.
And cigarettes.
And should there be? Wouldn't you think that if kids are all like mentally ready for different things at different times, those would be some of the biggest things that they would be ready for at different times.
So the issue is, and this is just the human race, because I don't think there's a good answer to this.
I don't think there is either.
If you give the parents the power to make these decisions,
Yeah.
you're giving bad parents the power to make these decisions.
Yeah, but you're also being consistent in setting an example. I mean, the problem is there's no perfect answer, and the question is always with things like this: are we trying to change hearts and minds, or are we trying to stop problems before they happen? And in the long run, doesn't the first thing solve more problems than the second thing? I'm making kind of the Winter Soldier right.
And we don't know exactly how this affects culture down the road. So let's say you give the power to the parents. So the people that I'm just gonna pick on them all night, like white trash people, and like trailer park people, like hicks, right? So like there's a stereotype of them, and it's a real, like, most stereotypes are rooted in some kind of fact. Like there's a stereotype about them where like they're drinking all the time, right? And their kids probably drink all the time too. Some of their kids probably are drinking all the time. But like now you legally give them the power, and they let this happen too. But in like a generation or two, when they can drink all the time, are they going to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do they? Because aren't a lot of those people the people that couldn't wait to drink alcohol when they were kids and then got addicted and then couldn't kick it?
Yeah.
Their kids are not going to have that.
Well, that's true.
But, I guess on the flip side, or they're alcoholics by the time they're like 17. Like, I don't know. I think that could actually work out well. But I don't know.
Maybe, but then there's the thing. So, normalizing alcohol to some degree, like Germany does it, makes people maybe less obsessed with it and seeing it as more of just a regular part of life as opposed to an excuse to be irresponsible and to go off half-cocked and do whatever crazy stuff comes to your mind when your inhibitions are dropped, right? So like to some degree, normalizing that is good. Normalizing alcoholism sounds more like what you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? That sounds like a vicious cycle in a family where people just like become alcoholics.
Well, but
everybody's used to that, as opposed to it's a regular part of a responsible adult's life. You know.
But my point was that it could potentially not do that, because if those people are part of a vicious cycle that are causing them to be alcoholics, their kids could potentially break that cycle. Oh, potentially not. But these are the kinds of people.
They may not, though.
But these are the kinds of people that you are empowering to make decisions like that. But then I don't actually know how different that is, because those kids that I knew when I was younger that had parents like that, those were the kids that were drinking.
The difficulty is this has been going on for long enough now, for multiple generations, that changing the perception is the really, really hard part. And again, I'm not trying to paint all of Europe and particularly Germany as having everything completely right, but I also think about this with like the prison system.
Well, and sexuality is the big one, I think, in relation to Europe.
Yeah, but I go to the prison system because we have a fundamental disagreement in our attitude about alcohol and our attitude about prison than Germany does, and for generations and generations they've thought about it a certain way. We have the same thing. How do we get you can't within one generation, it's almost like a social evolution thing. You can't within one generation get us to where Germany is on this, where with the drinking, where drinking is just a regular social part of life, and it's not about. We don't get drunk on the weekends, and we can't think of anything else to do with ourselves. You know what I mean? With prison, it's in this country we think of it as punishment before, like the emphasis is on punishment. The emphasis is not on rehabilitation. In Germany, it's punishment enough that you're in prison, not what happens to you there. That it is against human nature to be confined. Ergo, no matter what happened, no matter how cozy it is inside, you're confined. That's punishment enough, depending on the crime. And then you get rehabilitated. So, in an environment that is conducive to that, they are socially at a place where that society can function with that. Ours could not suddenly light switch change that. There have been attempts made, and even at local, I've studied this a little bit, and even at local levels, it's really, really, really slow going. And I think the same thing is true with alcohol, because we don't think of it as just a regular thing to do. We think of it as an excuse to be irresponsible.
Well, and I also think we've spent 20 years making movies that go, when you're drunk, you act like an idiot.
Yeah.
So, while alcohol may lower, and alcohol does affect different people different ways.
It does.
I have met people, because I'm not someone that gets drunk and acts really stupid. You guys have seen me super fucking drunk. I talk.
The same.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I might have a little bit of trouble walking, but I talk, and maybe I say things I wouldn't have said.
Jeff and I had a conversation about this the other day, and the way Jeff put it, and tell me if you agree with this, was, I wish we had him here to talk about this because his perspective was interesting. Jeff suggested, and he doesn't drink, but he's not against people drinking. Jeff suggested that alcohol doesn't suddenly make you do crazy shit.
No.
Alcohol takes whatever you're like already and tends to amplify it. And when I said lowers inhibitions, it does. So it affects everybody differently, but it does lower everybody's inhibitions. It just in different ways. So your inhibitions aren't lowered in such a way where you're going around punching people.
No.
You're just more social. But that is a lowering of inhibitions. If there was any anxiety there, you've lost it now, and you're talking a lot.
But it's also more. But it can also be more severe. So you can.
Sure.
And I don't mean to go necessarily to the stupid place, but I do think that you have people who are more shy. That alcohol loosens them up, and they have a much more drastic shift.
That's right.
So alcohol affects everyone differently, but I do think that.
But it is a lowering of inhibitions.
But I do think that we've spent 20 to 30 years making movies telling people when you're drunk, you act like a buffoon. And
it's okay to do that.
This is just naturally what happens when you're drunk. And so in the back of your head, you act even dumber than you would normally because
you're emulating.
We have been trained that is a social norm. And that's the real battle with alcohol, sexuality, the prison system, marijuana, everything like this is we have been conditioned to think a certain way. And you are now trying to...
And it's contrary to the natural way you would think about it if you let people just socially evolve normally.
And so when you now have to recondition people.
Yeah.
Because you have people...
Because they were... I like how you put it. They were conditioned in the first place.
Yeah. And so you have people that no matter...
It's artificial.
No matter the science or the evidence will always be, no, that's not okay. No, that will never be allowed in my home. No, that will...
Yeah, and there's also this inherent contradiction in the law. This is the thing I want to mention. In the law about this, where we say one thing, we do something else. We need, in this country, to decide, from a legal standpoint, whether we are actually okay with people drinking or not.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot decide this. What we do is we have a percentage alcohol content level that is so low. It may be different in different states, but it's pretty...
Was it 0.6?
It's pretty low. I think
0.2?
Isn't it 0.8 in... Or I forget what it is.
I don't even know what the points really are.
I don't either. But, that's the thing is... It's not like when you're drinking, you have a tricorder that tells you how much is in your system, the blood alcohol content, but what I do know, not from experience or anything, I've never been pulled over for drinking and driving, but from just reading about this and listening to other people talk about it, if you get pulled over for any reason whatsoever and the cop has any sense that you've been drinking, suddenly the alcohol is going to be the reason for it, whatever it was. Even if it was just like a taillight or whatever, like it won't be the reason for the taillight, but you will also get hit for that. And I get zero tolerance for this to some degree, but if that percentage alcohol content is so low that you can have half a drink or one drink, like basically any in your system at all is going to turn out to be illegal, even though it's not actually considered illegal. We need to decide where we fall as a country on this.
Well, and that and marijuana possessions are the big ones for the seatbelt law. Where, like, the seatbelt law isn't actually there to keep you safe. It's an excuse to pull you over and search your car for alcohol or drugs. It's not actually there so that you'll be safe. It's a good excuse to pull people over.
So, this is the show where we theoretically are okay putting out like forbidden opinions, right? I hate the seatbelt law.
No, I think most people do.
I've never agreed with that. I think that anything, I don't think that there should be legislation about anything that doesn't affect another person. I don't.
Because kids make sense.
Oh,
Seatbelt laws for kids make sense.
Sure, I mean,
once you can drive yourself.
It's unfortunate. I will say it's unfortunate that we can't trust every parent to do that themselves. We have to have a law about it. That sucks and it's stupid, but I get why it's there. And you could make the argument, well, if you're a parent and there's a child in the car, you should wear a seatbelt. But if I'm by myself and there's nobody else in the car, how in the world could me not wearing a seatbelt harm any other human being? And if that's the case, I should be able to be as dumb as I fucking want to.
I agree.
I should wear a seatbelt, but the law shouldn't tell me whether or not I should.
But that's because that law is not actually there for that. It's an easy excuse to pull you over.
I had never thought of it like that.
Yeah. No, that's why it's there.
See, that's not okay. But are you with me on the alcohol content thing? Like,
I think it's weird that bars exist, but you're not allowed to go to them legally.
Yeah.
You can't go get a drink. Now, and like the alcohol,
But here's
and like
the thing,
the knowing what your alcohol level is also weird. Like,
because you can't actually really know it.
no, it's not like people just walk around with the breathalyzer or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, you know what? Bars should have breathalyzers. You should be able because
Yeah.
we've all thought we were fine, then stood up and were like, oh man,
Oh, wait a minute.
They should have a breathalyzer. You should know what you are before you leave.
Sure, but like in average beer, I don't mean like, like 12, 14%, whatever. Just your average beer, what, like 6% alcohol content, whatever. 2 of those, your average person is fine driving. We need to decide what the limit is.
Well,
and it needs to not be, if I take 3 sips of something and get pulled over, I'm screwed.
We went out to drink before we came.
And
here.
again, it's different for every person. Like a different people hold their liquor differently. A larger person is more likely to be able to get away with more than me driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if we're gonna have zero tolerance, let's make it 0.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you can't drink at all.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. That's my point. Is
We
that
pretend
percentage makes people think it's okay to drink some and drive, and it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I think a certain amount. If I have 1 or 2, again, normal kinds of beers, I'm gonna be okay on the road.
Now, so we went out, got some drinks before we recorded. I had 3 whiskey and cokes. Now, when we walked out, I could not have driven.
Yeah.
However, we hung out in the parking lot for a little bit and talked. By the time we got into the car, I could have drove.
Sure.
But I don't think legally I could have drove.
Yeah. And I don't know if legally you necessarily should have been able to, having drunk that much, but
I think drank is the correct thing.
see, yeah, no, I'm second guessing myself. And this is up for opinion. I don't know if I'm right about this.
Well,
but don't make it so ridiculously low that you're duping people into thinking it's okay to because we say don't drink and drive, don't drink and drive, but then we say here's the percentage.
mm,
Maybe have it to where you just can't. Like, I don't like that.
Just because.
But be fair about it.
Because that feels like a trap.
It is a trap. It absolutely is. And I just think that, that kind of thing is what makes us all weird about alcohol in this country.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we need to change our attitude about it.
Yeah. Well, but there's so much of our society that we have that with.
Yeah, a ton. Because, like I said, and I don't mean to talk in circles, but I just feel like if we got less paranoid about it, yeah, in the short run, there would be as many or more problems. In the long run, you get less paranoid about alcohol, and people aren't crazy on the weekends. Or they're not as crazy on the weekends.
No, well, and that's the thing with specifically college kids, is college kids get drunk, do stupid things, get hurt, and get alcohol poisoning, because the first time they've ever been alone with their parents, there's alcohol everywhere, and they just overdo it. That doesn't happen in Europe, because it's not that stigma. It's not that, oh my God, I'm free, I'm going to drink everything.
And there's almost entitlement about it, right? Where, like, now that I'm this age, I'm allowed to and should, regardless of my personality or anything. Like, I just think adults should be held accountable no matter their age, because I consider an 18-year-old an adult. I know the law doesn't, but I do. And I think...
We can serve in the military. You can vote and decide the fate of our country.
Yeah, so you're an adult, even though according to the law you're basically a child till you're 25. If you and your parents decide to keep you on their taxes, yeah. I think adults should be held responsible, and if you are the kind of person that knows that you have an addictive personality when it comes to alcohol, or you know that you are violent drunk, you should try as hard as you can to stay away from it. And you are not entitled to it.
Mm-hmm. But
now that might be easy for me to say as a person that does not have a drinking problem,
but also
and drinks socially.
How many people don't know that until they go away to college and get shit-faced?
Wouldn't it be better if they got drunk in their parents' house?
Yeah.
To circle it back to what your mom said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, that was fun. Well, what's your next topic?
So I have two.
What? That's not fair. I only just did one.
No, not like two in a row. Like I have two more that I want to bring up tonight, and I'm just trying, because I have a quick one and I have a little bit longer one. Both are rants.
Okay.
I'll do a quick rant.
Sure, well, I'm sorry for yelling at you. I feel bad about that.
All right, so I've got a quick rant.
Were your feelings hurt though?
No.
Were you? Okay.
No, I don't have feelings. So I have a quick rant.
I think you just gave me permission to yell at him. I think that happened.
I have a quick rant, and then if we can get to it, I have a slightly longer rant, but it's also a rant.
Okay, well,
we'll see what your
why
topic
don't you do
is like.
your you do your small rant. I'll do my story.
Okay.
That's how we'll do it. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So my quick rant is, a thing that my girlfriend and I like to do is just go to like new places. Like I've been to a lot of restaurants now, like in the area. Like I've tried a lot of different restaurants. There's some really cool, really good places. And what I've discovered is this new phenomenon that I fucking hate. So I've been starting noticing there's a restaurant, I can't remember what it's called. You should go there. It's pretty good, although it is part of the problem. They have the thing that I think more burger places should have, which is different kinds of burgers. I can get a burger anywhere. If I'm going to a burger place, I want to be able to get something I can't get anywhere else. Make there be a reason I'm coming to you over any other burger joint.
You know what I had the other day? A pepperoni burger.
Ooh,
fucking delicious.
But this place I can't remember what it's called. But like they had a very large selection of burgers, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like they have a bunch of different burgers and cool. They have an a la carte style. This is something I've been noticing. A lot of restaurants are doing this a la carte thing. You buy a burger, and you also buy fries, and you also buy a drink, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what they don't do? Lower the fucking prices.
Really?
Yeah. So if you buy a burger meal at most restaurants, I'm going to say it's between $7.99 and $9.99. Right? Does that seem fair? That's about where the price is.
Depends on what kind of burger place, but yeah, like a sit-down place might be a little bit more expensive, but fast casual, that's about right.
I feel like most sit-down places, I don't ever pay more than $9.99 for a burger.
For a burger meal, though?
For a burger meal.
Okay.
Like you go to IHOP or Denny's or like it's usually like $9.99, maybe $10.99 if you're like I want a double or a bacon or whatever.
I was thinking about like Red Robin. That's a sit-down burger place.
They're a little bit more upscale, but I think they're like $10.99 maybe.
Yeah.
The thing I'm finding at these a la carte places is that a burger is between $7.99 and $9.99, and then you pay between $2.99 and $3.99 for fucking fries, and then you pay $1.50 to $2 for drinks. That's fucking bullshit. If it's a la carte, that's fine. The burger cannot be the price that other places charge for a burger and fries and a drink.
Even Five Guys is guilty of this.
Five Guys is really guilty of this. Their burgers are like $8, $9, something like that.
Like, it's good and it's worth it every now and again, but like, I don't get as much as I would. Like, sometimes I skip fries just because it's so expensive.
And Five Guys is the first place I noticed this. Now, Five Guys skates on this kind of because they give you so many fries, although I feel like they've stopped doing that as much. Like, you used to get like a shit ton of fries at Five Guys.
You'd get the little fry, which is like a kid's fry, and it would still be like 6 inches at the bottom of your bag.
Yeah, I don't think they even really put in the bag anymore. Like, it's just like you get it like other places.
Really? I haven't
think so.
been in a little while.
But it's not like it was the first time I went to Five Guys, where people are like, no, you're not going to believe the fries you're going to get. And I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of fries.
Yeah, order any size, it's crazy.
But yeah, no, Five Guys like this. It's a lot of chain type places. Like, I'm not talking mom and pop shops. It's fucking bullshit. You cannot charge me a meal price for an a la carte thing like that. Like, but they're going to keep and I'm really worried and pretty sure this is the future, right? Like, this is what we're going to be doing from now on.
See, I went to a bar today that my dad and I have been to one time before in Topeka that's really great, and they're a la carte, but their prices are reasonable. So, like,
if you want a burger to be $5.99, that's fine.
Yeah, the entree I had a taco burger, which is awesome. I don't know what it is about taco meat on sandwich bread, but I freaking love it. Mm-hmm. Or on a bun, I guess. But anyway, it was like, I think the burger itself was only like $4. So everything else you have to add to it, but it was $4.
No, that's great. That's a good price.
So I'm at $9 or $10 by the time I get everything I want.
Which is about what you would have paid for if it was a meal.
Yeah. Yes. But I got to pick all my stuff.
Because the a la carte thing should be, you have the option to not pay all that money.
Exactly. Right.
I just want a burger. Yeah.
I just want a burger. I just want a drink with it. That's all I want.
Yeah. That should be the advantage.
No, I completely agree with you.
What is your story?
Otherwise, we're sort of pretending like...
And I think that's what they're doing.
It's like the conversation we had before we got on camera about all the shit they like to add to you when you buy tickets online.
Yeah. Yep.
They pretend like they're doing something for you. I don't understand it. So my story / rant is also about a restaurant.
Okay.
Very specific restaurant. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. This is in Arkansas. This
we'll call it Chuck's.
This is this brand new place that had just opened up in Russellville.
Chuck's.
In Arkansas. And at Chuck's, they had a very interesting menu. And on their menu was a thing that I've never seen before. Now, it is a thing that I thought I had seen before. And the place where I thought I had seen it was the restaurant that I went to today that I just mentioned. Mm. So I'll tell you first what I thought I saw there and was wrong about. And then what turned out to actually be at Chuck's. So I'm at, a few weeks ago, I'm at this restaurant with my dad. And it's a bar and grill place, downtown Topeka. And they have a salad section of their menu. And on their salad section is tuna salad, which I thought was unusual.
This is what you think you saw.
Yes. The tuna salad was unusual, because usually we only see that on a sandwich. But you could order the tuna salad as salad.
So it's like a salad with tuna on it? Or like a salad with tuna salad on it?
No, it would... I'm not sure because I didn't order it.
Okay.
I think it was just a side of tuna salad. I don't think it was
I didn't put that in the salad section. That's strange.
I think it was like a bunch of little salads, though, right? Like, it wasn't like entree salads. It was like a side salad section, right? And tuna salad was there, along with like a house salad and like a chicken salad and a little side salad. And at first, what I thought I saw there was that they had that, but not in their sandwich section, a tuna salad sandwich, which was, I thought, very strange until I found it. I was wrong. Because I was like, well, if you have bread and you have tuna salad, why can't I have a fucking tuna salad sandwich? Mm-hmm. But it turned out that I was upset for no reason because it was there on the menu.
But you noticed that on your second visit?
No, I noticed that on the first visit.
Okay.
But it's not like that at Chuck's.
Do they actually only have tuna salad?
Yes. And it's amazing. At Chuck's, they have a tuna salad that, this was not a little side salad, this was a fucking gourmet salad, okay? I ordered it
Just put tuna salad
out of morbid curiosity.
Sure.
It is I guarantee you, if I go back, they will have minimized this entree, because it was like $8 or $9, and it looked like it was going to eat me like a piranha plant. Like, it was huge, and there's no way they can afford to keep putting this much fresh vegetation on a plate. It was this enormous bed of lettuce with a liberal amount of the tuna salad, which was, by the way, delicious. I love tuna salads.
Does
One
that
of
go
my
well with
favorite
salad?
things. Absolutely.
Okay, I've never had tuna salad.
Well, I hadn't either. It did, but there's a caveat, and I'll talk about that in a second. So, because it's a principle of the thing. So, but let me describe the salad. So it had that. It had diced tomatoes. It had, well, actually, I say diced. It had sliced tomatoes. It had, I want to say like cut up. This was diced. Maybe 2 whole boiled eggs. Like a lot of eggs. And cucumbers, and it was all very fresh. And
I have like 6 bites. You're like, I'll have a box now.
I ate a lot of it, but like I felt better leaving than I did when I got there because it was so healthy. It was an excellent dish. I loved it. I wish I could order that in other places. But most everyone else at my table ordered a sandwich, so they have those. They had various kinds of bread. Because my dad kept playing devil's advocate. He was like, well, do they have toast? So I wouldn't necessarily want to have it toasted. Yeah, but if they have toast, they have regular white sandwich bread. Half the people at our table, we were there with a big group, half the people at our table had toast. And there was like a Philly like cheesecake or cheesesteak or something, Philly cheesecake, like a Philly cheesesteak or something. They had that kind of bread. And a lot of different ways to make a tuna sandwich.
Tuna salad can go on. It doesn't have to be white bread. You can put it on. You can put it on a the Italian, like, you know, like you put
it on
any bread.
Yeah,
you can put it in a burger bun. Like,
you could. I've never seen that, but you could. So I've never seen that at a restaurant. So the lady comes over to take our order. This is before I get this magnificent salad, and I was like, "Can you guys make a tuna salad?" No, it's not on the menu. I just looked at her. I was like, "But all the ingredients are there, right? Like, can it not be?" She was like, "I'm sorry, we can't do that." I was like, "Okay," and I mean, I milked this all night long. When that salad came, I had a couple bites. It was delicious.
Did you take the tuna and put it on bread?
Every person at the table gave me their toast. They were like, "We're gonna make sandwiches happen," and there was enough tuna on the salad, not to mention all the other stuff. I was able to make like 2 whole sandwiches, and I made sandwiches and I ate them, and I was like, yeah, all the ingredients are here. I've got like a ready-made, make your own. They could have brought me the bread. I could have made my own. Could not believe it wasn't on the menu. That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Never seen anything like that. I bet you $1,000 if I ever go back to Chuck's, that salad will be half the size, and there will be a sandwich on the menu.
I wish you could remember what the restaurant's name is. And just every time we say it, it's just like message redacted. Like, it's just like Chuck's.
See, now, this is going to be so burned in my brain that next time I go to Arkansas, I know I'm going to go to Google and be like, Chuck's. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's not what that place was called. That was just Eric making up things. Okay, what else did you want to talk about?
Okay,
Isn't that weird, though?
No, that's very
Isn't that a strange
That's
thing?
very strange.
I've been wanting to tell you this story ever since I got back from Arkansas.
Okay, so this is kind of a rant, kind of amusing. This is going to be me perhaps at my most cynical and depressed.
Not about food.
Not about food. And this may lose some people. Some people might think I'm being an asshole. But I feel like it has to be said. You know what's fucking bullshit?
You did open with his blackface racist, and the answer to that is yes.
Well, yeah, but it's the extenuating circumstances in that film. Like, it's an Asian film. They don't have black actors. Like, there's a question there.
I
think it is, but I'm just...
If you think you're about to lose people, I'm just letting you know
okay.
you may have already.
I may have already lost people. Okay, so... I actually have a thing about this. I actually might put this into writing and workshop this as, like, an actual, like, rant.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's fucking bullshit? Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so I have...
This is me hearing you out.
Okay, so I have always had an issue with Make-A-Wish Foundation, but could never, like, articulate... Like, since I was a child, I've always had this, like... There's something not right about that. There's something that doesn't sit right with that to me. And I finally figured it out. No one else gets that. Okay, now I understand.
That's where you're going.
I understand that these kids are going to die, right? Like, I get that. But you know what they don't get? Life of doldrum and boringness. They don't have to work a 9-to-5 job that's going to make them put a bullet in their brains. They don't have to go home alone and, like, be sad and lonely because they can't find someone. They don't have to deal with the just... They don't have to deal with getting paid shit for dealing with shit at a job they hate. They don't have to deal with any of the complications of life. They don't have to deal with the political situation. They don't have to deal with the awfulness that is living. And I think that if everyone got one wish, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get to sit down and have dinner with your favorite baseball player. Like, if everyone just got one, I think that could have a tremendous impact on the morale of the entire fucking country.
So I'll agree with the second part of that.
Okay.
I like that a lot. The idea that just, like, everybody gets one. You know?
Yeah.
Instead of, like, waiting until, like, you're on death row and you get executed, you get a last meal. Like, everybody gets...
Yeah.
It gets one thing they've always really like within reason. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know who pays
You can,
for
like,
this.
kill your boss, but, like,
yeah, sure.
I can have a dinner with Shane Black.
You can't hurt someone else.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is.
Most of it's just meeting famous people.
Yeah, or, like, getting to go on a trip you've always wanted to go on, or whatever it is.
Within reason, like you can't stay in the nice hotel, but, like, you can go to Hawaii. Well,
you can't stay in the nice hotel. You're not flying first class, you know.
But you get to go.
What? Do I get the Raptor room at least?
If that's what you want to spend your wish on.
Oh, I only get the Raptor room if that's my wish.
Yeah.
Okay, my wish is the Raptor room. So, and here's the thing about the Raptor room.
It doesn't exist. You can't just go there.
It's true. The whole sex hotel Raptor room thing. I've always said that I want a room in my house where because I don't collect Raptors. I've always wanted to, but I don't have any place to put it. But I was always going to call that room the Raptor room. I can't fucking call it that now. If I call that room the Raptor room, it's like Captain Logan's got a sex hotel in the Raptor room. Anyway, that's an aside for the however many of you know what we're talking about. But
that's a well-viewed video. I think they all know.
The problem with the first part of that is just you're right. It does sound kind of cynical. Where I take issue is where you're almost making it sound like it's a reward to die early so that you don't have to deal with all the rigors of life. And the problem I have with that is, but the other side of that is you also don't get any potential
to make something of yourself, to, like...
Yeah, I'm losing the word I was going for, but you know, the positive potential. Like, you don't get any of that either, you know what I mean?
No, that's true. But I also look around.
Opportunities. You don't get you don't get any opportunities.
I also look around and I don't know how many people have actually gotten those. Like, I'm not saying that everyone I know is, like, miserable, but, like, I don't know very many people in, like, pretty good standing, right? Like, on some level, even people that are content, their life sucks. Like, right? Am I wrong? Like, I'm not saying I don't know anybody that's, like, doing pretty well, but, like...
Yeah. I mean...
I think a lot of people's lives would be improved if they could just get one thing. Like, just one thing, no strings attached. You just get one thing.
Yeah. No, I like that part of it. I feel like there's almost like a disconnect where I don't think you have to go as far with the first thing to make your point with the second thing. Like,
Sure.
That's where it's that's where it seems cynical to me. That second part's not cynical at all. Like,
and maybe there is a small part of me that thinks that like that is kind of not a reward, but like, isn't it kind of lucky that like you're never gonna have like sexual humiliation? You're never gonna have to deal with an awful boss. You're never gonna have to deal with paying taxes. I mean, I'm only focusing on the negative. Like, they're also...
You are, but, like, you're talking about, like, 11, 12-year-old kids. You're talking about never having to deal with the sexual inadequacies. You're never going to get to have sex.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Sure. You're not wrong.
It's just, I mean, like, I don't know, like, even if you, like, absolutely despise your job, I still think that, like, the joys of your life could outweigh the negative. Like...
And I'm not even saying mine don't, but, like, when I look at the world,
I understand.
Like I see all the sad people.
Yeah, and what you're saying is the American dream is dead, and it's very difficult to argue with that. Like,
and it's going away faster and faster as technology gets more and more advanced.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that we're going to be
on
such a depressing note.
I'm going to write it down right now.
Yeah,
we have to talk about the self-driving trucks.
Yes.
And how that's going to ruin everything.
Yeah, yes, we do.
But also make everything better. Because they're safer, they're cheaper, like...
No, we talked about that somewhat at length after we saw the Child's Play remake, and we have not had a chance to talk about that on camera. And if we'd done a spoiler cast for Child's Play, it would have been nothing but self-driving cars. Like, the whole thing, we would have just been talking about, like, self-driving Uber and why that's horrifying.
Yep.
That would have been the whole conversation.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about, where I was just like...
I hear what you're saying. I mean... I don't know what else I want to add to it.
Because, and I figured out, like, that was the thing that bothered me as a kid.
Yeah.
Was I was like, because I grew up as a child in a very, like, but it's never me kind of a thing. Like and a lot of that, retrospectively, a lot of that's my fault. Like, I remember when I was going to school, and they were talking about, like, having, like, the news, right? Like, the school news. And I didn't even try... because I knew it wouldn't be me. Like, I knew that I wouldn't be the one picked, so what's even the point of throwing my hand up and saying, yeah, I might want to do that? And that's at, like, 11. Like, I'm already, I guess, to that place.
Kind of fatalistic.
Because it's never me. Like, I played a lot of different sports. I was good at none of them. I'd never, ever been on a baseball team before, and I'm immediately, like, left field, right? Like the place you put all the shitty players. I never had a chance. I was left field. And so, and I think even as a child, my issue with Make-A-Wish was like, why not me? Why can't I get one?
Yeah.
And like and so like I don't know why my mind went to that. Like nothing happened with Make-A-Wish. I didn't like read something that mentioned Make-A-Wish. Just randomly, I just started thinking about this, and I was like, oh man, if Make-A-Wish extended to everyone, what a better world it would be.
I mean, I can't disagree with that.
I'm not saying you should take it away from the dying kids. I'm saying you should give it to everyone.
But it's not going to make me less sad that those kids aren't going to get the opportunities that I've had.
Sure.
You know, and like maybe I'm in a very small minority, but I will say that the joys of my life have outweighed the horrible things in my life, and I'm glad that I didn't die at 12 years old, even if it did mean that I got to have lunch with Patrick Stewart, right? Like. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the only counter I'll give you there, but the idea that if we all got that, it would make the world a better place to some degree, yeah, I can't disagree with that.
But then I think about that, and like you put like a cap on it, right? Like
you would
be not like where you would go, but you would almost want to put it. You don't want to waste that when you're 6. I want to use it now.
Well, no, you should be an adult by the time you actually do that, unless you're a dying child.
Yeah.
But it's Make-A-Wish. Or everyone else by 18 or 21 or whatever, we're going to have to go, we're out of time.
Yeah.
But let me also suggest that this could end up being one of those if everyone's special, no one is things, where it's like, well, everyone gets an opportunity. And so then there's like this entitled thing again that kind of comes into it, where it's like, well, that doesn't count. We all get to do that shit.
You might be right. You might only feel that way because we don't all get to do that shit.
Yeah, and so then it's like a grass is always greener thing. It's like, And then it turns into like, oh well, like the state or some big company or something like has pity on you because you're just some lowly peon that works a job you don't like, and they give you like that one cool thing, but the rest of your life you got to work in a fucking factory that you hate, and you never get to travel, and whatever it is.
I think that's what most people's lives are. I wish they'd take pity on us.
Yeah, but again, I think I don't know if it would help. The more I'm thinking about it, I don't know.
I think once it gets normalized, doesn't it? I think it helps that first generation, that first wave.
Yeah. Or if somehow no one knew, like, we all have to keep it a big secret.
But this is...
And nobody gets to know about it until, like somehow it's a secret. It's like this big conspiracy where everybody gets a cool thing, but they don't get to talk about it.
You re-importanize birthdays.
That's a word now.
Like birthdays.
Yes.
Like everyone says, like 18, 21, like that's it. After that, birthdays don't fucking matter. At 25, you find out that at some point in your life, whenever you want, you can cash in and make a wish.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, anyway, we've got to get going. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you had a good time. This is Patreon. I'll go ahead and say it. We have very little space left in my SD card, so we have to go right now. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again next time. I was Captain Logan.
And I was Eric.
We had a good time. We hope you did. Leave your comments. We'll see you next time.